All right, so good morning, good morning, good morning. Actually, it's nearly probably afternoon. I'm not certain. Anyway, um, so I have not been online for a long time, and I know a couple people have been like, "Hey, where you at? What are you gonna say? Blah blah blah. How come you haven't told us anything lately?" So my journey has been greatly interrupted. I have had a lot of fuckery happen in my life, and what I found out is that a lot of the things that are absolutely necessary have been told to us time and time and time again, but they never tell us how to do these things. They never tell us why these things are necessary. So we need to go back to the very, very beginning of life for us individually and think about what was the very, very, very first thing that we were given in this material world. Okay, so that comes back to your birth certificate, and we've talked about this so many different fucking times. But let me explain it a little bit better than I had come to know before. So the birth certificate is given to you, like we all know, because they are creating a contract with you. Well, what they did not say is that contract is a job position. You become the trustee of your estate. Like way back before 1666, when they started all of these different, or when they started the Cesta KV, when they basically were stealing people's land rights and putting them in holding and becoming the trustees over all of that. So you have an estate, and you are the trustee over your estate, over your trust. You're the administrator over your estate. You're the trustee over your trust. So that's a job position. You have to qualify for that. They have put you into the corporation and saying that you work for the corporation and that is your job position, but you have never learned to fulfill any of these duties. You've never taken responsibility of it. You have no clue where it begins. So you have to basically learn what business is, learn what the trust or the administrator is, and I'm going to just tell you it's a fiduciary. You have to know what the rules of the fiduciary position is. Different fiduciary positions have different rules. You need to learn what those are. And as I've said before, I myself am not going to tell you, because you need to know for yourself. You need to know that when you run into people who are going to give you opposition, you need to know how to shut them down and tell them to go away. You need to know the rules of it so that when you're talking to them, they can't say that you're incompetent, that you don't know any better, that you are just kind of crazy for trying to fill into these positions and you have no idea what they are. Because they'll fucking do that. They locked me up. They tried to say, oh, well, she's crazy, she's this, and blah, 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 blah. I happened to just be learning stuff like literally right before the court date would come up. Right before the court date would come up, like literally like 2 days before, the day before. I would learn a thing, and then I'd go into court, and then I would say the thing in court. Which is really good that I was only learning it the day or the 2 days before, because when you're in jail, everybody's a fucking spy. Everybody's a fucking spy. There are people that come in and they're on your fucking in your damn unit, your sleeping bay or whatever the hell they call those things, your dorm. They're in there just because they're supposed to like fucking talk to you. There are some people that are going to get 30 days for, what is this shit? Drinking and driving and blah, 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 blah. These motherfuckers are like working for them. Sometimes they're trying to cause you problems and all kinds of shit. Don't believe none of this shit. All of this shit is an absolute fuckery. Absolute fuckery. The people that are in jail, the ones who are just naturally snitches and shit, they will put them in with you because they want to know, okay, well, if you don't trust anybody else and you know this motherfucker really is a hardcore drug addict or this thing or that thing, and you're like, okay, well, obviously right now you're in jail, so you're off of drugs, and you might be a really decent person, so people who are normal will talk to them because they're decent. Okay, that's some fuckery too. The reason why that's some fuckery is because they're fucking, they're little tattletales. They're gonna go back and they're gonna tell. Anyway, so when you're in jail, it is best, or learning this stuff, I should say, it is best that you know absolutely everything. Because like I said, when they approach you, they are trying to catch you off guard. And it is the worst, lengthy piece of bullshit ever. Because they're trying to maximize everything because they want to stress you the fuck out. They want you to get pissed off. They want you to act out. They want to punish you for whatever the fuck it is. So, whatever rules they are, they're somewhat playing by the rules, but they're not playing by the rules. They're playing by the rules that benefit them. The ones that you don't know about, they are fucking completely fucking over that rule altogether because you don't know it. Anyway, so getting back to this conversation is, I would learn this shit like the day before I went into court, 2 days before I went into court, and that was basically saving my ass. So, like I said, you're the lowest man on the totem pole in this corporation structure, and you've never learned how to fulfill your job position. So you need to learn what those rules are. Don't go and get these textbooks. Don't go and listen to somebody else telling you something. Whatever is written in the code, in the state statutes, you need to read that shit. You need to get you a first edition, a third edition, a fifth edition, Black's Law Dictionary. There's another law dictionary, I can't remember what the name of it is, but you need to get one of those damn books that's probably about 150, 200 years old, and you need to learn from that all of your definitions and whatnot, because these newer dictionaries are not giving you proper definitions. They're not. It's all about how they let Ebonics become real. We all knew that it was some fuckery that we were just bullshitting on because it was some funny shit. But then all of a sudden they started putting it in dictionaries and allowing people to think, well, yeah, no. We've just kind of accepted that that's the new definition. No. That's some fuckery. That shit leads you astray so very, very far, and now you're just stupid because you don't know what the actual definition is. All right, so let's get the fuck out of that. Anyway, learn the rules for your job positions. So, the very first thing that thing does is it says that you're dead. So now you have to tell these people that you're not dead. Okay, so that's the proof of life that everybody keeps talking about. The next thing that you need to do is you need to tell people how it is you choose to run your life. That's called a will. And the will opens the doorway to the beginning of the trust. So some of these people that said, oh, it's going to cost you $1,000 to form a trust, that's an absolute lie. Forming the trust is no different than simply having it acknowledged in court, putting it on the court record. You are forming the trust, you are holding the trust, and you are not allowing anyone else to do that. Now, in order to do that, you have to claim and register the certificate. So when you're registering the certificate, you're registering it with certain offices. The will has to be registered with certain offices. You need to read this information so that you know which offices in your area are the offices that need to be notified. You're not going to read one section. You're going to read all of the sections because all of the sections are telling you what to do. If you don't read all of the sections, then just don't even fucking start this shit because you can't halfway this shit. You need to find out how to properly register this stuff in different ways. And when I say register, think of, everybody knows how they register your car title. Okay, the registration process is almost no different, except for it goes through different offices. And those offices are now changing your status in their set of rules, in their system. And as they're changing that, now it unlocks the thing that's got you as the lowest man on the totem pole, and you're able to insert yourself where you want to go. So I found a form from the DMV website, and it was how to get in, lawful status, lawful presence, how to prove lawful presence. Okay, so even though the state statute said, yeah, well, you need this form and blah, 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 and it's going to circumvent your need to go to the courthouse, something. They've got gatekeepers down at the fucking DMV. You come in with that form, they're going to say, oh, we don't know what to do with it. Bitch, you're lying. You're a fucking gatekeeper, and you're fucking lying. Okay. So you're not going to stop this bitch from lying. The bitch in my case took her ass and fucking called the fucking police and shit, and she thought that she was going to scare me. Well, I was like, well, just give me your name and badge number, which scared the shit out of them, because now they're like, oh, fuck, this bitch is, like, real. Like, we know that for real we're not supposed to be fucking with her. We just think that we're going to intimidate her. But now this bitch is just not intimidated. Like, what the fuck? So then that brings on some more shit, because now they're saying, oh, it's a matter of national security. Well, bitch, I'm the motherfucking nation. Y'all are a fucking corporation fucking trying to start some shit. Okay. So now, if you haven't put the fucking will in, you have no protections, because the will goes to the state. It tells the state that they have no fucking right to be fucking with you, which now the federal thing is getting involved. So before, I hadn't done the federal thing. I hadn't done the will. So there's no protection because the states are rogue. And so it just opens up a whole can of fuckery. So now you've got all these like city, county, and state people trying to intimidate the fuck out of you, and they're doing all kind of lawless shit to stop you. So anyway, you need to start building these little protections. And that's just the beginning of it, but you need to know how to do it, and you need to read it for yourself. So I'm going to stop this before it gets into 15 minutes, or as it's getting into 15 minutes, because if you're not willing to take these first steps, nothing else you're doing matters. And I want to say where you should read all this stuff. Now, I told you how to reconcile your bills, and I went and I told you the exact area. And I hope y'all read that. And I hope you realize that doing that is being part of the corporation. So you are in your job position, but you're not in your job position. You haven't been. You need to know how to be in your job position. And I would look up, oh, I'm over 15 now, shit. I would look up um, the significance of lowercase name spelling. Just put in a Google line. Significance of lowercase name spelling. And I would stop writing my name with any capitals whatsoever, anywhere, at any point, on any paperwork. I wouldn't give a fuck what it is. I just wouldn't do it. So y'all have wonderful morning. And if you haven't started reading, then get your read on, okay? Because there is no winning in ignorance. There is no winning in ignorance whatsoever. I don't give a fuck how much money you have. You're not winning. I don't care which job position you have, how many people you fucking know. There is no winning in ignorance.